He's been called irreverent, an outsider, a troublemaker, but he calls himself a surfer, an artist, and a fire starter.
I've had to be the bull in the china shop. You've had to be loud. You had to speak louder to get people to come and look.
His wines as outside the norm as their creator, with names like Anarchy, Heretic, and Loco.
Nobody had really ever brought like a rock and roll element to wine.
For Christian Tigi, it takes his longtime business partner, Sam Mahler, to keep him grounded and focused.
He can be difficult, but so can I. We're both obstinate. Somehow we balance each other.
Allowing the creative wave to push the envelope even farther.
Some people aren't going to be able to handle it. I'm okay with that.
High-end winemaking, infused with creative spirit, inspired by rock and roll. Join us as we go beyond the crush.
When I was first in Napa, I didn't have a pot to piss in or anything. Basically had a bicycle, a beater pickup truck, and a couple surfboards. But I came out of these big arched doors one day, right around dusk, and I was watching a harvest moon rise over the hills of Canaris, and I was like, tears in my eyes. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. I had met Sam, and we literally grew this thing out of our garage. We called it the Surf Shack, and that's where I did the biz. We paid for barrels with student loan money, paid for grapes on credit cards, but we created some magic. And we didn't have the big fancy building that everybody attaches to the gentleman farmer living in the big house on the hill in his palatial estate with all his granite. But we'd go out and sell it like guerrilla warfare. It had our rap, it had our generation, it had our funky labels on it and stuff, and it was 2,000 cases, and then it was 4,000 cases, and we're like, wow, this is really cool, let's run with this. Sam is El Presidente, and I am winemaker and pain in the ass extraordinaire.
Oh, he's definitely an artist. He fancies himself an artist. You know, he takes advantage of that artistic license.
We were both looking for not a typical experience. Sam would be out there with me at 3 o'clock in the morning driving grapes down from Amador.
I was the mother trucker. I spent a lot of time in the vineyards.
She's the James Bond lady, you know, she flies jets. She is a black belt just because she loves beating the hell out of me and other people. But she's a scientist. I'm an artist. She's very rigid and structured and accomplishes many things, and I'm like, let's go surfing. And I think that was part of what made us successful. She kept our feet on the ground while I got to go play flitty artist.
He'll push and push and push and push, and he figures if he can convince me, it'll be okay, because I'll make sure we'll stay solvent. We've had the taste room for 7 years. He's never had a keys.
I grew up a punk rocker, I'm a surfer. I'm a product of the 80s. The way we labeled our wines and the way we market our wines was an expression of our generation and who and what we are. It was unapologetic and it pushed an envelope. A lot of people were like, what do I do with this? Why did you put an Anarchy symbol on your label? It's like, well, because it's an unconventional blend. A lot of people said I couldn't do it. It's just even more intense than your typical bottle of wine.
We definitely have a reputation in Paso Robles, kind of the bad kids, and we kind of like that. We know that when we show up somewhere, we're gonna piss a few people off.
Everybody was so busy trying to fit into the mold of like wine country and the sophistication of it all that nobody had really ever brought like a rock and roll element to it.
Taking away some of the pretension, that allows people to enjoy it a little more comfortably.
We found our audience. They had explored wine. They had gotten through the initial wave of it and the snobbery of it, and now they were kind of looking for something alternative. You know, the same old Martha Stewart type thing just doesn't cut it. And yeah, there was a lot of people that couldn't take Anarchy seriously that were just instantly wrote it off. If we weren't pissing 10% of the people off, we weren't doing our job. And we found out that other 90% loved us for pissing off the 10. Wine completely is art. You know, you go into the grocery stores and you see the stuff on the shelf for $5 and $6. That's corporate production by the numbers. But once you get to the upper echelons of it, and you have people really pushing the envelopes using phenomenal extreme vineyards and interesting production techniques, that you get into the realm of art.
It really blows me away when I watch him, the different trials that he does, you know, parts of the vineyard and different yeasts and different barrels.
We'll get down to 0.5% of a blend difference. And I've shocked, you know, some of the kids that have worked for me. They're just like, What difference can 1% make? Come on. And you're sitting there and it's late and everybody's grinding, but all of a sudden you hit it and this thing just goes wah. We're standing in the lab, you know, we're blending Anarchy or we're blending Monarchy or something like that. We'll put on music that matches it, and your senses are popping, and it makes it go where it needs to go.
They'll have incredibly ear-shattering loud music. I'll be over at my desk working, he's blending, it's like, I can't think.
Your ability to put those finishing touches on a wine is everything. Now, whatever gets you there for inspiration, Metallica or old Rush songs, you know, Jack White is actually responsible for a hell of a lot of Cypher wine. You can't make great wine from shitty fruit. Vineyards and winemakers, it's kind of like almost like a drug addiction. And everybody's like, don't you have enough? It's like, no, it's like women in shoes. So Heretic was this badass old vine Petit Syrah vineyard, and the wine was just ridiculous. You know, I'd go to tastings and have the cab dorks trying to see what we had, what all the excitement was about, and they'd be like, wow, this is a cab. No, this is not a cab. This is big old vine Petit Syrah, but it'll kick a Cabernet down the street. And all of a sudden, their whole world opens up. It's as if they were locked in this rut of what they were told to drink, what is sophisticated, this is the best, this is what you do. Some people aren't gonna be able to handle it. I'm okay with that. Let the lightweights fall to the side. For a long time, Paso was Napa's ugly stepchild. And now, Paso has kind of come into its own. Here, it's still in that exciting stage of discovering who and what we are and establishing it and making it happen. Just like being in Seattle in the early 90s, you know, and being part of the music scene there. That excitement is prevalent. To come here and kind of find my place and fall in love with what I'm doing, where I'm standing there pouring somebody a bottle of wine, a glass of wine, and have them just go, wow, this is incredible. You know you're there and you're in the moment and it's delivering.